What's up, guys? It's Mr. Javed, and Happy New Year to the entire Academy. Great things coming this year, guys. Great things. Like, my head is in a spin. But enough of me. What about you? How's your New Year been going so far? Today we're going to be featuring not this team, Toast Offense. We got a couple offenses. Let me know if y'all want to see some offense. So, Article's team, he posted a couple teams. And so I saw the Curum posted an obstacle team as well. But we're gonna try to Curum one out first. 'Cause it's been a while since I've used Curum. There's so many things currently. What do you think the most underrated mod right now is? Some underrated mods. Leave in the comments as we break it down. So Tornadus core purpose in this one. It's been a while since I've done proper left to right analysis. So I'm gonna be coming back, guys. Your boy's just been in a tailspin. So Tornadus' core purpose in this game was definitely going to be a secondary Cinderace check because I don't have any fire resist. I've come to realize Finny is in a Cinderace answer. And so it kind of has to work for that Clef core purpose. Well, let's break down Tornadus first. Kind of said am I? Tornadus is pretty hard to kill, so I think Tornadus, you're going to notice because it's going to be the mon I start the game off with. In this case, it has the greatest advantage. Landorus does as well, but versus an opposing Landorus, it leaves me a bit lacking, especially because I don't need his weaken. Secondly, I want to KO his Cinderace pronto because at that point, Tapu Fini just goes and then decimates his team. With the combination of Future Sight, what would this thing to be to guard against it? Magearna and Urshifu, what are those two weak to? What would those be switching into? It's not really, but you'll see what I mean in a sec. And so Curum, upon clicking Ice Beam or Earth Power, forces in his two ice. Okay, cool. And so actually, it may be to my benefit to remove Landorus early. But as I said, Cinderace, I did not expect Cinderace to be his lead of choice because, well, a couple of reasons. But primarily because Landorus was such an obvious one, so that lets me know he's likely. I'm guessing a defensive variant of Landorus because it's like, okay, he must have felt comfortable. Okay, Life Orb, Powerball, 61. I don't think Sucker knocks, but he's Life Orb. If he has Sucker, this is where he'd go for it. But so that gives me a lot of information about the type of player. Yep, he's defensive. That gives me a lot of information about the type of player he is just based on that sequence just now. The reason I say that is there was no reason to risk the Cinderace. So it lets me know that, okay, he's probably not thinking that far ahead as far as, like, you know, what the consequences of his plays are. Obviously, I could miss, which would suck, but the likelihood of that is pretty low. It's 70 compared to 30. And so he would have gotten dropped by Cinderace, or I would have just knocked him out right there. Or maybe he was like, okay, I'll trade Tornadus for Cinderace, which to me isn't the best trade. But so we're just gonna Ice Beam here as he thinks Urshifu was the answer. So that made no sense, which is why I'm like, okay, well, clearly there's something. Even if I was gonna Earth Power, unless this is offensive Magearna, that's the only way that made sense. And so pretty Iron Defense. What does this do again? Iron Defense, Calm Mind. Calm Mind, Stored Power. Oh, that's not good. Oh, this is why this thing is about to be gono. Because now he can Calm Mind freely. Is there a way I could have stopped that? No, I think he made the best decision. I'm thinking if it's best for me to maybe that's why he was thinking is like, okay, well, this guy gets 6-0'd by that set, so he's like, okay, I'll just punish. What I'll do is I'll spam flamethrower because it does enough. Because it does enough to where ideally there's a point where he either doesn't get enough from Draining Kiss, because I can't beat this Pokemon, I don't think. So I'd have to get a crit or a burn, something like that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. As he opts for Finny, which makes even less sense, honestly. Um, this isn't a 1v1 he wins, because Draining Kiss is just not doing any damage. And certainly not. So he definitely had me there, because I can't beat Iron Defense Magirna with this team, like, at all. Um, Generally, with that set, you want to have something that's fast, like a fast fire type. So before it can get the Combine, it'll show the Iron Defense, but before it could get the Combine there, I could overwhelm him. So let's say I had like a Mystical Fire Moltres or a Taunt Heatran, something for that. But I don't think that's common enough of us. Like, Magirna is so versatile, right? And so I would never fault the team builder for not knowing that Iron Defense, Magirna needs to be prepared for. Especially because I don't know how much usage that particular set is having at the moment. But yeah, I definitely got lucky there. There's just no way around that. But that's the name of the game, especially with that set in particular. Um, and I'm looking at my team. I'm like, I'm not even sure what adjustments I'd make for that. And I know use my teams beyond alive. So I'll leave you guys to make the adjustments as we get into our second game. Yep, so that gives me a lot of information. The fact that he clicked the timer right away. He's not a thinker, he's a presser, reactive. Because when you're thinking about your team preview, I know he already clicked his lead. And so because of that, he has a standard lead that he tends to go with. So he's going to lead with Landorus. Which means there's very little team preview analysis going on, and that's going to be important because Kyurem just massacres him. Clefable's going to be here for Urshifu primarily. I don't have a Spectre answer. Okay, so we need to be careful using this team. We need to be careful using this team because I can get Spectre swept easily. Fable beats everything except Heatran, but that's okay. Okay, so that being said, I'm gonna be seeing Landorus starting this game off. Cool. Heatran I'd like to see too, because I want to remove that thing's item, because it's the only thing that can take on my Kyurem, and I can wish pass around. And if I can get to the point where my Finny Urshifu makes even less sense, but I get to remove Zapdos's item. Well, I guess no. If Kyurem is your biggest threat, I guess Urshifu has some logic to that. And so we're gonna have to find out, because Slowking guards against everything on his team. And so I'm not expecting a thing. Not shocked by the double. It's pretty obvious that I'm not going to stay in here, but I don't know what kind of Urshifu he has. Like, yeah, the poison jab there, just the nature of how he plays, that made sense to me. He's helmet. I mean, he is, and even given that, like, I should predict him to switch here, but I got poisoned. Okay, let's predict the. We're not gonna predict. I mean, you know what I'm saying. But basically, because of that, I have to play this slightly differently because Clef is super important. There's nothing he really has on his team to where he needs to get Clef low. I guess for his Urshifu. Problem with that is I'm assuming he's going to go into Landorus here. But the Lando could be Scarf. And if he pivots to the Landorus, then Clefable, well, I'm Rocky Helmet. I didn't know that either. So, again, it makes sense what he did from like a gut player standpoint. He's like, people tend to do this, and so I'm going to, do this, and I'm going to predict and such and such. He's slowing down now, so I think he's starting to think. Zapdos is in, but as I said, I don't have the item I'd like, and so now he's in a tricky spot, right? Do you go to the Heatran? Do you go to the Finny? I do think he's gonna go for. I don't think he's gonna go to his Tran. Problem is his Tran is a big issue for me. I think he's gonna go to Finny, but he does go Heatran hard. I could have knocked out his Tran there. But he pivots to Urshifu. As I said, very reaction-based style of player. Um, as he gets the I actually didn't remember about the static, so but I couldn't not U-turn there though. And so I'm gonna click the same move again. Yeah, freeze dry is always the play. I can prevail with Finny if he gives me the Zapdos. But I need a few conditions met because now Poison Jab or Shifu itself is a problem. And he at this point he may rationalize, well, I don't need Zapdos anymore. And depending on what the Zapdos is, if it's just a Volt Switch variant, because I haven't given this opportunity to use this electric move yet. If it's just Volt Switch, then Finny takes even less damage. But if he lets me hit, yeah, say. So again, based on how he plays, that made sense for him to do. So Clef, we're staring down Finny. He has no reason not to Wicked Blow. Finny's too important. That's now my win condition, so I'm not gonna allow him to knock that out. I could leave this in, but currently, because I'm gonna catch his Heatran next, he's gonna give me that opportunity. I don't have anything that I can set up Stealth Rock on with Clef, so I'll take the two Rocky Helmet rolls. Now I'll set up rocks here. So Urshifu is now significantly weakened. This is a tough turn because Wicked Blow does not take. What I'll do is I'll go straight to Finny and I'm gonna Calm Mind first because it forces him in a defensive spot and it's gonna force him. Okay, excellent. So now he doesn't have anything he can go to stop me from draining Kiss. I didn't think he'd just sack his Urshifu. But that's the case as Heatran comes out. And that's his solution. Heatran being gone obviously means a lot for Kyurem. As he gets the Earth Power off. But then I'm going to counteract his Poison Jab, which he has to go for. So again, no ice resist. So Kyurem, once Urshifu is gone, just hammers his team as well. I do want to be careful again for Spectre, but if I can keep Tornet full and use knockoff on his let's see, Slowking can't really stop Spectre. So I'm going Slowking here. Poison Jab, I shouldn't get too KO'd. Oh yeah, I forgot I resist. And so Spectre / Landorus are done. So Landorus, Spectre, I'm just thinking whether or not I need to Future Sight. Future Sight, he had to go Urshifu to take it. No, I'll just Psychic here. He actually goes to Spectre. That's a blessing. Yes. Awesome. I think that's Specs. Please knock this out. Oh my god, it was a fucking roll. To do 56, I should have put this in the car. I don't think this can do 56 to an AV Slowking. Like, and it's Spadef boost. I think he's Specs, which if that's the case, that'll be really good. Import. Let's see what my timer says. Yeah, we got time. All right. Spectre is strong, but you ain't that strong. You're still just a Spectre, you know what I mean? So why does this not have moves right now? What's going on? So this is why I always press on game plans. Slowking, Galar. No, that's Slow Bro Galar. We're Slowking. Okay, custom set. There we go. So Shadow Ball does, yeah, that shit is fixed. In which case I no longer need I no longer need Torn. I'd like Slowking more than I'd like, because it resists Poison Jab and takes nothing. And so Landorus gets to come in, get to U-turn out on what I'm expecting to probably be his Landorus. My Tapu Fini is going to be critical because Urshifu is still a problem, and it's going to depend on what his Landorus is, because it's still far from over. The thing about Urshifu is that it has to go for. He actually goes to Fini, huh? So Fini's in. What's the roll on Kyurem and Fini? Because I want Kyurem because Urshifu can't knock it out with Kyurem. All you specs. Tapu Fini. OU defog, sure. Freeze dry does not KO ever. Okay. And so now he has to fear Sludge Bomb, obviously. Urshifu doesn't make sense. Landorus, U-turn such and such. I don't say it's a free U-turn, but Sludge Bomb. I really want to stay in here and Sludge Bomb again. If I go Lando, if he knocks though, yeah, that's exactly what I was fearing. But upside is Slowking is so boosted that Spectre can't just do what it wants. And me having, okay, so he's definitely Choice Scarf. And so he's now trying to gear up for Spectre and Urshifu in the end game. So how can I? Maybe I should have considered knock. If I go Tapu Fini, actually this might work better. If I go Fini first, and I get, I drink this enough to where I'm outside of Urshifu's range, I have a shot. Because Kyurem is a problem. And if he goes to his Fini, and I out taunt him, he's gonna lose. So if like I Calm Mind and then he goes to Fini, well, do I even need a Draining Kiss? Yeah, in case he goes hard Spectre. Yeah, I want to be at like absolute, the healthiest I can be. And so here he goes to Tapu Fini. This is what I'm saying. Like this is where things get dicey, because if I am faster, I taunt. He Draining Kisses here. That's fine. We let Slowking 1v1 this. As Landorus comes in, knockoff still makes sense, but I need again to keep it healthy enough for Shifu. I don't think he ever earthquakes. I think he's like, okay, well, knock, but if he psychics and what's my play here? Like if he earthquakes, he loses too much out of the turn. If he knocks, Fini comes back in and destroys. No, I think I have a shot, even if he goes to that. So U-turns. Okay. And this is where, let me say, if I go Kyurem, I remove Fini. And then it's, no, I lose to Landorus then. If I go Fini. So this is going to be an interesting couple turns next, because if I go Kyurem, I freeze dry, he Draining Kisses, freeze dries again, then he gets to go to Urshifu. Freeze dry, he gets to go to Urshifu. He has to close combat though. Will that be enough for Landorus to knock me out? I think that's what it's gonna come down to. Or I could go to Slowking, but if I psychic as he goes to Urshifu, or if I even psychic as he goes to Landor doesn't die, that puts me in an awkward spot. And this Fini seems to not be as bulky as I think it should be. Mystical, not Mystical Fire. Draining Kiss isn't even gonna do half. I don't even think it's gonna do 40%. Yeah, so I'm actually still outside of Urshifu's range anyway, and so positioning Fini wasn't what I thought he'd do, but now it puts him in a spot where it pretty much guarantees him a game, because the moment he goes to Urshifu, he has to lock I don't need Slow King anymore. So it's free game to sack. He wicked blow locks. And I'm free to just skull spam. Mm. No, I can just Draining Kiss. There's no reason to skull. Draining Kiss does 18. Yeah. Like, because at that point, Urshifu had to lock itself into Poison Jab to even do damage to me. And obviously, Poison Jab's never killing Cure from there. Good game. But there's a more, thought out thought process. Keeping the game at it got a little dicey when he made their Shifu double and when my Torn got poisoned. I mean, paralyzed. But, once you have the structure in your mind, it's really easy to not get flustered by a turn-by-turn basis. Because you're going off the map, right? So if you make a wrong left with your GPS, you're like, okay, let's get back on track. And by the way, guys, if you're ever curious in learning what I'm talking about, if you made it this far in the video, you're going to get kind of a sneak peek. So I'm going to be hosting a mastermind this month where I'm going to unleash shit I've never unleashed. It's going to be select 10 people. It's going to be a private Discord where you're going to have assistant coaches to help you. It's going to be full-blown like boot camp style for 4 weeks. It's not going to be free. And so if you want to apply, hopefully I'll have the form done. And the link will be in the description below because I want to make sure that I can help you with whatever you want to get helped with before I accept you. And so I already have one of the slots taken, so it's really 9 slots left. But yeah, description down below if you're interested in that. And so, like, looking at his team, Kurum's freeze dry is unguardable. Audino is a weird mon that actually, is bulky as shit. But beyond that, pretty problematic. If I can hit his pecs one good time, then Gastrodon sweeps. Really, I can sweep him with Gastrodon even if I don't hit his pecs. But it'll definitely be easier with that condition being met. So phase 1, we're going to remove all relevant items. All relevant items will be removed. Torm being poisoned, it's not going to be staying in for any long period of time. It's going to get status in this game by something, whether it's going to be Moltres. I want that helmet gone because that's going to matter with Draining Kiss. So I'm really glad, thinking long term, right? Draining Kiss is how Pex beats even stands a chance versus so he's just going to go for recover here. Okay, so he's like committing to the toxic spikes, which is weird because I have a Slowking, but since that's what he's gonna do, he can't even force my Clef out with anything. Block, okay. Let's see. Clef is irrelevant to this game, but that's interesting. And so Spite has how much PP? 14. Okay. I'm losing 4 Stealth Rocks per Spite. Wish. Okay. Let's do this. So if I'm losing 4 Stealth Rocks, got 12 left. So we Moonblast here. Just get a little bit of damage, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit, take it with you. I'd like Stealth Rock in this game, but I don't think I'm going to be getting out of this. Like, he seems like he's just going to sit here and PP stall anyway. And so, how many Spites left? So he's used half of them. I only have 9 Moonblasts. So let's start wishing. 5 Spites, which I'm glad that he's showing me now because this Pex, like this game is over already because my top of any sweeps. Like now that he's showing me his Pex set, Finny sweeps. So toxic spikes again. Just gonna spite away all my rocks. Right, that's what I figured. He's just gonna go for a block. Repeatedly Moonblast. Cool. Soft boil here. So Spites. He only has 2 left. which means I'll always have at least some stealth rocks left, which I think is funny. Well, Clef isn't getting out of this unscathed. He should recover. But, you know. So he's used up all his spites. Got rid of Clef. I hope that was worth it. But he's not even recovering. I guess he's just going to recover on the last turn. I mean, sure. Okay. Does Clef even lose health? I've never seen this situation before. Yeah, it does lose health. But as I said, Slowking literally just decimates, like, and just completely invalidates all the hard work that he just put in. As Audino rears its ugly head. Really not sure what to expect from this. My Clef is still alive, which I think is funny, so it can still come in and absorb status. But I'm just ready to set up for getting all the pieces set up for my Tapu Fini. And so, unless I am tripping, it's time. Well, let's see what his initial Toxapex took the future side attack. Okay. So let's freeze dry here to see how much. I want to see what the Clef is, but okay, so Audino does not take that well. Knockoff. Okay, so this has knockoff, and he's gonna give me his item here just based on how he plays. My Torn's item is irrelevant. Yeah, it's just Hurricane here. He's gonna Toxic Spikes. So we Toxic Spike. Like this Corviknight. This probably has Spite too. It's probably one of those kind of guys. So okay, I think I can shut his entire team down. I don't know if this learns block as well. Like I'm really not sure what to expect from the Corviknight, but we're gonna remove all kinds of items. So Toxapex. Alright, let's get this party started. Toxic Spike, Spike, Recover, Block. Okay. So it goes for Toxic Spikes. Goes to Gastrodon. So this must be Clear Smog then. I see. So that's how you're planning to play this out. Okay. That changes things a lot. Primarily because I got rid of rocks. And you're gonna see why. So I have to play my Kyurem differently. So Future Sight plus Kyurem are gonna go. Since he has Clear Smog, that changes things. So Wish. This is where things get interesting. So Corviknight comes in. What is this item? It's probably Shed Shell, maybe a nice Shed Shell or something like that. Curious as to how much the Ice Beam is going to do. So I'm gonna keep this low in case he is Spadef, as he got Wish. So it did 27 to him. Taunt goes a long way in this. So he's like committing, okay, well, I'm gonna knock your item off. Okay, since you're gonna do that, I want you to knock my Landorus's item off. Choice card doesn't help me in this game. Thank you very much, you kind sir. As I shall, it must be Shed Shell. I can't think of what the Corviknight can be. Let's find out. Yep, Shed Shell. Could go Moltres here. Tempted to just edge him and kill him, but we're just gonna have to play the long game in this one. And he hasn't. I know he has a Roost. Based on how he plays, he probably has Spite. So let's go Torn as a mid ground. So he shows Roost. Okay, let's go Slow King. Okay, Iron Defense. I'm guessing it's a body press variant. Okay, that's fine. As we get to, so this starting to get interesting now because since he's conditioning his Audino to come in, I just need up. Okay, nice poison. That's gonna go a long way as you're gonna see. Because now the Audino has to stay in, and on the turn it wishes. Oh, he heal belled. If I crit him here, wish, right? But now the Audino has to stay in. And so if I'm thinking Curum has to wish. Okay. I haven't shown Psychic yet. Okay. So we Sludge Bomb here to see how much. Let's see what we're doing now. Poison. Let's see future side damage. Ooh, that was close. That was close. And so, as far as I can tell, he doesn't have Protect. I haven't seen it yet. And so now he could die. So I'm going to just Psychic. Right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. So now that Audino is so weakened, my Curum can come in and really start putting in some work. And he can't even guard against Slow King. So we get the future sight here, which is phenomenal. It's probably Corviknight or something is gonna come in. So now I know I got his number with this Slow King. And so now I get a kill for show. Nice. So now somebody has to faint. Clear Smog. Daddy has Toxic 2. Doesn't matter if this dies, then if this drops, then what's it called, wins. So yeah, so Clef is gone. King plus Curum showing worth. I don't know why he went Audino. That ain't eating this. Okay, so Curum's hungry. I think that's what this means. Curum's hungry. That's about time for that full fit. So yeah, the team did this damn thing. Slow King and Curum were impressive. That future sight thing that they introduced, just generation plus wish, I still think things are so underexplored, guys, and I'm excited. Like January, team building's coming out, the mastermind thing, link in the description down below. I'm ready to, the level of value you guys are about to get for the next I'd say 3 months heavy though, at least at the minimum, because it's not even just the channel, like some shit that, but yeah, the value is about to be heavy. And so get ready. Been prepping for a while. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Hit the like button, by the way.